I'm High Heel Knight. Welcome to my channel. This is my review of the premiere episode for Star Trek Picard. It is a television series exclusive to the CBS All Access streaming service. When Patrick Stewart first announced that there would be a show based around Jean-Luc Picard, he warned fans and critics that the show could possibly be radically different than what has come before in the Star Trek brand. Now, for one, Patrick Stewart didn't just want to rehash all the old stuff he had done several decades ago, but more importantly, the rights of Star Trek weren't completely owned by a single entity. That's why in Star Trek Discovery, the Klingons look nothing like any other couple of Klingons have come before. Those changes were made for legal reasons, not creative reasons. Well, thankfully, the rights are all under one house now. So with this series, we do get real deal, true blue Jean-Luc Picard directly tied to the series Star Trek The Next Generation and the Star Trek The Next Generation movies. Now, you don't have to see all of those programs, but it does help that you at least have a basic idea of the Star Trek Next Generation cast, and you definitely should see the movie Star Trek Nemesis, because this series takes place about 20 years after that, and there are several references that are directly tied to that movie. So for this series, Admiral Jean-Luc Picard has reluctantly retired, and he's living a quiet life overseeing his ancestral vineyard in France. Then one day, a young woman named Dahj enters his life. She is scared and she is desperate. There seems to be assassins trying to hunt her down for some reason, and she compels to find Jean-Luc Picard because she believes he can protect her and solve what is going on. There will be no spoilers for this review, but going forward there will be spoilers because the show is built on dramatic episodic progression as opposed to standalone singular episodes like traditional Star Trek programs. So starting off with what I enjoyed about this episode, seeing Brent as Data, so wonderful to see that character, and that's not a spoiler. It's been well publicized in all the articles and the trailers that various characters from the previous TV shows are going to be making guest appearances. So just seeing Lieutenant Commander Data and Jean-Luc Picard interacting together on screen was worth the price of admission as far as I'm concerned. And the de-aging effect for Brent Spiner to make him look, like Data, because Data's artificial, so he doesn't really age, was pretty decent. So I applaud him on that. But yeah, I was just so happy to see those characters interacting again, smiling every time they were on screen together. Another thing I liked is that this, at least the initial shows, seem to be taking place on Earth. Now, I know the program is called Star Trek, and it's all about exploring new worlds. But sometime around the 90s, when I was in college, I thought to myself, should we know a little bit more about Earth? I mean, Earth is supposed to be this utopia, all the races getting along, no sniffing crime or problems, things like that. Wouldn't it be nice to see Earth a bit? Well, that was when I was in college. Now, that is even further away. The brand is 50 years old, so I am happy to see a bit of Earth as well as planets that are in our solar system being discussed, because as wonderful it is to explore the stars, after 50 years, let's figure out what's going on the home front. Now, on the negatives, there's a section in the episode that made me think of the Logan movie. If you're unfamiliar with that movie, Patrick Stewart plays a very old Professor Xavier and a very old Wolverine. They had to protect a little girl who was also being hunted by assassins. So in this Star Trek Picard episode, there's an action sequence that sort of reminded me of that movie. It just felt like slightly more than a coincidence. But thankfully, by the way the episode ends, I don't think that Logan comparison is going to be a problem going forward, or at least not for a very long time. So I was able to be okay with that, but still, it just felt a little Loganish. But the real complaint is the villain, or at least potential villain, named Narek. He looks way too much like the Spock character from Star Trek Discovery. I mean, I saw him come in, I was like, is that the same actor? And I had to watch it again. It's like, I don't think that's the same actor. Then I'll go on IMDb and say, okay, no, it's not the same actor. But still, just that visual immediacy, I was like, is that Spock or that's the same actor? I can't be. So yeah, I don't know what the planning was with him, but they really should have chosen a different look for that character. But who knows? Maybe by later in the series he'll have a more unique look, just as the Spock character had a more traditional look. So as far as my verdict, I enjoyed this episode. I think it's a nice, solid start. And it's very different from what has come before with Star Trek, but in my opinion, it's been different in a good way. It's not so radically different that it doesn't feel like Star Trek at all. And again, it's about these characters, so I'm really excited to see how this goes forward. I'm actually more excited for this program than Star Wars The Mandalorian. Yes, I love both Star Wars and Star Trek, but I was a little more excited in this because I have more attachment to these Star Trek characters. And with that said, I give this premiere episode of Star Trek Picard the super cool positive emoji. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Be sure to share whatever comments you like in the comment section. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, or dislike, share, and subscribe. Once again, I'm High Heel Knight. Thank you for watching. And remember, find inspiration everywhere.